little fun fact, over 600,000 people go missing in national forests every single year. 92% make it back, either dead or alive. Reasons for these people going missing range from mountain lions to skinwalkers to aliens. So why are people going missing in national forests? That's what we're gonna talk about today. But first, hello, hi, my name is Ivy, also known as the Also known as the Witchypreneur here on YouTube. Welcome to my channel. This channel is all about the spiritual, the witchy, the supernatural. And today we are going to be talking about national forest disappearances. So let's go ahead and get started. About you guys, but I am terrified of the forests for this reason. I have gone camping, and every single time that I've gone, weird things have happened. I just went to Joshua Tree last month. We saw a UFO. That is not a joke. I am serious. I wish that I had gotten it on camera, but I didn't. Anyone that was with me can vouch that we saw some strange stuff and heard some strange things while we were in Joshua Tree. Before that, I went to Yosemite. Our cabin was haunted as shiznit. Point is, every single time that I've gone camping, something happens. Something happens. So I'm not surprised when I found out that so many people go missing in national forests, and it just makes me even more scared. I was actually looking into the most famous missing cases, and they're pretty terrifying, okay, to say the least. One of the most well-known cases is going to be one that I'm going to call John Doe, or they call it John Doe because I guess they don't know this person's name. But John Doe was actually mentioned in a Coast to Coast interview featuring George Knapp. I don't know who George Knapp is, but apparently the article mentioned that as in he's important. So let me do a quick Google search to find out exactly who George Knapp is, because I don't know who he is. Okay, so it says right here, George Knapp is an American television investigative journalist, news anchor, conspiracy theories, and talk show host. Okay, so that's where this comes from. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the first case that we're going to be talking about, the missing case of John Doe. So in this interview, a little boy named John Doe was only 3 years old when he went missing for 5 hours. Later on, the search party that was searching for him found him unscathed. He was completely fine. However, he did seem a little bit confused, and John Doe definitely had an interesting story to tell. Now, this little boy claimed that during the middle of the night, he was woken up by a strange woman that looked a lot like his grandmother, and he basically followed her into the woods. Now, following this woman, he ended up going into some sort of spaceship where he said that he found a lot of old weapons and old dusted robots and things like that. Now, the old woman was glowing almost, and the little boy was like, oh, maybe this is not my grandmother. But he noticed that this woman had something in the base of her neck, something that might have been implanted in there. So this old woman that looked a lot like his grandmother kept telling him to defecate on a piece of paper, and the little boy was like, why? And the woman ended up getting a little agitated, and she said, you need to do this because you are actually an alien / extraterrestrial, and you were just planted in your mom's womb. And so when he was found, he was completely fine, and investigators were just like, oh, okay, this is probably some kid with a huge imagination. The only thing that made it a little more believable was the fact that the grandmother claimed that during the middle of the night she was dragged out of her tent, and she ended up getting a lot of pain on the base of her neck where she had 2 little small holes. So was it the little boy's imagination, or were they dragged onto some sort of spaceship? Gosh, she got something implanted in her head by the aliens, and this little boy really is an extraterrestrial. I guess we will never know. The The next missing case that we're going to talk about is the strange case of little Alfred, who went missing back in 1938 in the Rocky Mountains. Now, little Alfred was actually only 4 years old when he was playing in the woods where his family could see him. He was only a few feet away, just a few feet away from his family, when all of a sudden his parents don't see him anymore and little Alfred goes missing. Now, when they brought in people to hunt down little Alfred to find out exactly where he is, they brought along dogs, and dogs traced him up for within a 500 feet uphill to where he possibly could have gone. However, the dogs seemed to just start sniffing the air and they just lost track of him, and there was no footprints, even though it was just a few hours after the little boy went missing. Meanwhile, 6 miles away, there was a group of campers that said that they saw little Alfred by this rock that was really hard to get to. It was actually a really dangerous outcropping that they called the Devil's Nest, and they swear that they saw this little boy out there when all of a sudden he was yanked backwards. And this was just minutes afterwards. So first of all, how did little Alfred get from where his family is to a whole different part of the national park 6 miles away within minutes? And was he taken by something? Who or what grabbed little Alfred, and where did he go? They never ended up finding him. The next one is the case of David Gonzalez. Now, David Gonzalez was only 9 years old when he went camping with his family, and he told his mom that he was going to go get some cookies from the car. The car was only a few feet away. Not even a few minutes later, David Gonzalez is just missing. His parents are like, he swore that he was just going to go get cookies, but when the mom went to go check, the cookies were never even grabbed from the car. A week later, they found David Gonzalez's badly decomposed body in an area that had already been searched, which means that whatever had grabbed him placed the body there after the search happened. The weirdest part isn't that, though. It's not how he went missing. The strangest part is that when the parents and even the man that was doing articles about David Gonzalez's disappearance started asking questions, the police were very hostile and did not want to answer his questions. They swore that David was dragged out by a mountain lion, even though David's body had no bites, no marks, nothing to suggest that he had been attacked in any way, shape, or form. And the parents honestly believed that that body that they showed was not David's, and that David might just still somehow be out there. So what exactly happened, we don't know, but this story very much gives me Stranger Things vibes. It reminds me of what happened with Will and how the mom swore that that is not her son. It just gives me those sort of vibes. So is something like Stranger Things going on in real life? The last case that we're going to talk about is the missing case of Dennis Martin. So in 1969, a 6-year-old boy named Dennis Martin went to go camping with his friends and family, and they were having a grand old fun time when the little boys decided to play a prank on the parents and pretend that they were missing. So 3 boys went behind one tree and hid from the parents, and Dennis Martin went some other way. And eventually they found the 3 boys, but they did not find Dennis Martin. Meanwhile, 6 miles away from where they were camping at, they hear a little boy screaming that apparently there was something chasing after him that looked like what could have been a bear, but then it morphed into something a little bit more humanoid-like. So was that what grabbed Dennis Martin? This turned out to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, search and rescue mission in the whole world. It took up weeks and weeks and weeks, and they ended up spending over $50,000 in trying to find Dennis Martin. It is equivalent to $415,000 if you want to translate it to 2023. $50,000 back then is $419,000 now. So they spent a lot of money trying to rescue this child. So many people got involved that a park ranger said that it actually ended up hurting the case instead of helping it, because there was so much misinformation and rumors going around. And this little boy was never found. They asked the FBI to get involved, but the FBI didn't want to get involved for some reason. So what humanoid creature grabbed Dennis Martin? Could it have been a skinwalker? Could it have been an extraterrestrial? What is it about national parks that so many monsters, I don't want to say monsters, but entities tend to lurk there? What is it that draws these things? What is it that draws these entities to these national parks? Anyways, you guys, that is it. Let me know, have you guys ever been to a national forest? And if you have any horror stories, please leave them below in the comments, because I would love to read them. It would be awesome to do just creepy stories of things that happen to you in national forests. If you want to hear about the things that happened to me in national forest, I don't mind doing a whole video on that as well, because there is a reason why I'm scared of national forests. It's not just because of these stories, but because I've had personal things happen to me as well. So let me know. I also want to do some other horror camping stories like Dyatlow's Pass. Can I say that right? Apparently not. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.